Hey everybody, this is Retro Challenge Gamer, and we are back with World 2 of Kaze and the Wild Masks. So we start off with a little bit of an interesting swap up. We actually have an ice world early on, rather than like World 3, 4, or 5. And I do love these little animations Kaze does if you end up if you end up not controlling her for any length of time. I think there's like 3 or 4 different idle animations, and they're all adorable. They're cute. So, this particular stage, Sliding Salad, there's not much to it. This is kind of like your most basic slippy slidey ice stage. In fact, I think this is the only stage in the game, I could eat my words on this, that actually has sliding ice physics. For the most part, the main gimmick here is, of course, the sliding carrots. They come out of those little igloos and stuff, and they're just a constant menace. And they remind me, actually, of the sliding penguins in the ice stages of... Yep, there's a bonus stage right under the... This is another issue where the 2 bonus stages are right after the checkpoint. But yeah, those sliding carrots remind me of the sliding penguins from New Super Mario Bros. And their ice stages. Same concept, really, overall. So, not really much to say about this level. This level was pretty easy, both in the trial run and the actual recording. I only think I maybe got 1 or 2 outtakes at most in this stage. This is not a difficult stage, which is more than I can say for the rest of World 2. World 2 is actually probably the hardest world, in my opinion, out of the 4. Now, that could also be me having practiced the later stages more often than World 2 stages on my trial run, but the fact remains is I felt like I had a lot more issues with the stages in World 2 than I did any other world in the game, which is hilarious to me. So both these bonus stages are fairly easy to find. They're kind of out in the open if you know what to look for towards the bottom of the screen. This would be the only bonus stage that is kind of tricky in this level, but as long as you keep track of the intervals for the carrots, it shouldn't be too bad. Now this one did give me a little room for pause, because you do have to lower the platform just enough for that carrot slider to be able to hit you, so you do need to be careful on the timing on that one. But beyond that, it's clear sailing straight to the end. Not a bad level, and I don't think we will ever revisit the ice physics again. I'll have to check back in with you on that one in the next video, because I know there's another snow level coming up. Not in this video, but the next part 2 of World 2. Now we get into a stage which gave me a lot of problems, not just in the trial run, but also the actual recorded run. This is the equivalent, the new gimmick here in Slingshot Ride, this is the equivalent of barrel cannons in Donkey Kong Country. You have your automatic cannons, which would be like these slingshots. The moment you touch them, they'll immediately launch you. And then we'll get into the barrel cannons where you control when you fire. Oh gosh, oh lord, this one is awful. I've failed so many times on this one bonus stage alone. It has given me nightmares. But take your time. Let the spike ball pass around your trajectory if it means that you won't hit it. I've lost count of how many times I've failed at that particular challenge. Even after so much practice, it's still tricky. So these automatic slingshots, they will sling you up in a predefined height. So you will never not know which way you're going or how high you're going to be jumping with those ones. I think it's variable for the slingshots that you can fire on your own. Oh, here I was just like, yeah, I'm not grabbing all the crystals. I know there's more than 100, so I just don't need to miss any others. Okay, here we go. The hitboxes on these custom shot barrels is really wonky, and you'll see that in the outtakes. You kind of have to hit for the center of mass on them, or the game will not register that you touched those slingshots, and you'll just fall straight through to your death. It's kind of ridiculous. The timing on some of these can be a little tight. Okay, don't be fooled about the carrots going off that way. Head down to the second bonus stage. Well off the beaten path. Okay, there's only one proper solution to this, and it's the one all the way to the right. This never changes, and you will always get the fastest time by hitting up the slingshot to the far right. Because if you try all the others, you're just wasting time. Yeah, I was not confident. There's a lot of deaths that happen in this one. Be prepared for some fun outtakes, I can tell you that. But yeah, that was quite the tricky stage coming off of an easy snow one to start the world. But you can't believe how thankful I was to just have that stage behind me. Unfortunately, what follows is probably a stage that's even worse than that one. Which is hilarious because during my actual recorded run, I had less problems with this stage than I did during my trial runs. I lost count of how many times I've died on the trial run. I'd say it's at least 20 to 30 failures through this stage here alone. But on my actual recorded run, I crushed it. Tiger Popsicle was nothing to me because of all that practice I did during the trial run. So all that frustration and rage and hate that I was feeling during the trial runs, wasn't even feeling it on the actual recorded run. Yeah, just let them drop once and then you can skip ahead. You don't have to wait through the whole sequence there with the platform. So you have to go for a pretty long distance before you get to a mask. And I think this is the first time you get the tiger mask, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the first time you get it. Oh, and I got it on the first try. I got this level on the first try on my recorded runs. You know how I know? Because that animation played. Because this is the first time I've gotten that mask in this level on this playthrough. So yeah, all that awful trial run training prepared me well for when it came time. Oh, that's a tricky bonus stage right there. My goodness. This is a slightly tricky stage, but as long as you're aware of, you know, the going back and forth and making sure you wait until the icicles have dropped before you make your next move, you'll be all right. So this, I don't think there's really much of a buddy equatable for Donkey Kong Country for this particular mask. It's almost like the main things here is it can wall jump, give you the ability to wall jump, and air dash. Those are kind of like the main features of this mask. And when you air dash, you're kind of invulnerable except for spiky enemies. Spiky enemies like, you know, Mama Mona and her little babies and stuff. Those you cannot harm with the tiger mask. But any other enemy, as long as I think they don't have spikes, you know, facing your direction, they're vulnerable to the attack of the tiger mask. And the rest of the level is pretty much geared towards these air dashes. If you're not using these air dashes to get through things, you're not using the tiger mask correctly. And the wall jump is a little bit heavier than it feels, than it looks on screen. You may not get that from watching me, but it really feels heavy. And by that, I mean you don't jump as high as you think you should or that you would with every jump up the wall. So you kind of have to take that into account when you're making big jumps off the wall. And I think this is the first instance where the bonus stage is after the goal, which is kind of interesting. Oh yeah, don't panic here. You have plenty of time to get the 9 crystals. So don't panic, take your time. If you must, let yourself slide down the wall instead of jumping off. That might end up, you know, throwing off your groove and then you fall into the pit on either side. Yeah, nothing to it. Easy peasy. I just about freaked out there. I thought I was like, no! I thought I was going to fall all the way down and hit the spikes at the bottom. I had almost a near heart palpitation on that fall there. Yeah. I think I verbally just said, no! during recording. Because that was such a perfect run. And I'm glad that I nailed it. Okay, now we move into another deceptively difficult stage. It's like 3 difficult stages in a row, despite, you know, the first stage being remarkably easy to start the world off with. And then they just give you a, you know, triple smack to the face with these 3 stages. So the Ropes of Hope, this basically teaches you how to navigate, well, ropes. Up and down and left and right. Because there will be later stages that will require you to manage, platforming across ropes, is what I wanted to say. I know there's stages similar to this in other games. And I think I also want to say Donkey Kong Country had something similar where you have to go up and down ropes as it guides you through a whole bunch of obstacles you have to dodge. But I can't recall what levels those would be. Well, timing is pretty tight. So, I didn't find this bonus stage on my first couple trial runs of the stage until I started thinking, hey, I keep getting the second bonus stage gem. Why am I not finding the first one? And then as I went back through the level, trying to slow myself down and figure out where it could possibly be, I had a hunch. I followed my hunch, and sure enough, I was correct. Yeah, this particular bonus stage, as you saw, is deceptively difficult, but as long as you follow the figure 8 pattern, as you make your passes to collect all the gems, you should make it through unscathed. Okay, hop on both to give the rope that's coming up enough time to reach you. If you don't allow it time to reach you, you will not have enough height off the first bounce of the top tomato to make it over to the rope when it comes your direction. So those 2 tomatoes are there to kind of help you time your jump to the next one. Thankfully, the patterns are the same no matter how many times you play through the level. So if you know which, you know, up, down pattern you have to do to get through a section of tomatoes, tomato flyers, it's the same thing here. Okay, this one on trial runs took me a while to figure out the proper timing to get up and down this rope. You have just barely enough time to perform all this perfectly. And yes, you want to jump off the rope as soon as you can, because as soon as it crosses your path, you will immediately grip it with your ears. You don't want that. You want to keep falling down the center. And here I'm not going to take my chance, I'm just going to go straight into it. Very tricky, but both stages on this world was very tricky, and it also helped contribute to my frustration when I tried to do the secondary objective of no-hit bonus stages alongside no-hit main stage. It was just exhausting to try and get those perfect as well. Whew! I almost forgot about the E at the end there. I wonder how many people saw that E and then hit the goal and they're like, no! And they realized they have to go back to the whole stage just to get the E. I wonder how many people got tricked by that one. So 3 hard stages down. Will the difficulty continue in the next one? Well, I can tell you 2 stages after that is one that breaks me. Stay tuned into the next one. See y'all later, and stay retro. And here we have a very lengthy series of outtakes. As mentioned earlier in the video, I do have a couple in the first stage. I believe they're mostly stupid outtakes overall. They were just me being dumb. Like, I think that was my first go where I forgot that there was a carrot coming my way and I immediately jumped into it. Don't really know what happened there. I think I just reacted slowly or I was distracted by something. I'm not entirely sure which. But overall, not too bad on the first stage. Basically stupid mistakes, not legitimate ones. Yeah, that was a legitimate hit. I mistimed that completely. And that was me missing the A. Not so much a death, but that was me going, no, I have to restart. Gosh darn it. So I'll count that as an outtake. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The center of mass seems to be the hitbox for these things. If you're off by even a little bit, it just won't register your touch, and you'll just fall straight through into the pit. Yeah, bad timing on that one again. I did say this was one of the worst stages of World 2 so far, right? Okay, just thought so. Yeah, I didn't see the slingshot that would have put me straight down into the E until too late. You don't slingshot straight into the E. You go to the slingshot above it. Ah, yes, this one. The one I said was awful. Straight into it. So I ended up having a lot more trouble in the trial run. Yeah, I was a little too eager to try and end the bonus stage there. Now you can get 2 quick hits back and forth before you have to stop and wait for him to pass. That was not the proper timing. So I was very frustrated because I had to keep doing this bonus stage over and over again at the start of the level. And I was like, I'm not practicing the rest of the level. Gosh darn it. So the rest of the... Yeah, the rest of these are here in the rope stage. This ended up being a lot trickier than I expected. Yeah, I ended up touching that rope a little bit too low for comfort. There was no way I could have climbed up in time to make it. Oh yeah, memorizing the proper path through these things. If you go too low towards the bottom of the rope will just drop you. You will lose grip on the rope and just drop. So be careful not to go too low. And of course, keep your eye on the tomato flyers. I, of course, did not. So I feel like I'm better now at dodging at this point. But then I make a stupid error when I try and spin off here. Yeah, you gotta control your spin to get those gems, or you'll be flying off into the spikes. Not sure how I missed that. Maybe I jumped a little too late and missed the eggplant by miles. Yeah, that was me not getting a proper timing with the figure 8 pattern that they're doing. Oh, this one hurt so bad. I was right there. Right there.